Afternoon. Down here on Oregon's McKenzie River, doing a little caddis fly time. George Cook with Sage in Rio. Here's the new Sage ACCEL two-handed series. New for August 2014. This particular model is 7126-4. A pretty ideal year-round steelhead rod in the Pacific Northwest, particularly here in Oregon. Today's tip of the day is managing overhang. Now some of you are probably going, what do you mean overhang? I'm not hanging off the bridge. Now, if you look right here, take a quick look, you can see where the orange meets the Tiffany blue. That right there is the segment between the rod tip and the back of the head. In this case, on the 7126-4 ACCEL is a 500 Rio Skagit Max. So that orange section equates to, it will be discussed as the overhang. How much running line have I got laid off the rod tip before it makes it to the head? That's known as overhang, okay? Overhang can vary greatly. A number of factors can dictate how much or how little overhang you're going to employ in your spey cast, okay? Generally speaking, the realm of overhang could be as short as 6 inches to as long as 3 feet, which you look about right there, okay? That's kind of your basic realm. Let's call it 6 to 36 inches. Now, having said that, there will be the odd time and odd place. In fact, it might even be a spot like that on the other side of the river. Now, here we are in the McKenzie, but I can assure you there's plenty of water, not more than 90 minutes of here, that being the North Umpqua, that looks a lot like that. And sometimes in those spots with a line like this Skagit Max, you actually will choke up the overhang to the point where the blue comes in maybe 6 inches, because you've got to go with an audible. Let's call it overhang audible. As you get in a situation where your space is incredibly cut down and you got to choke things up in order to make a cast. Might not be a long cast, might be a relatively short cast. It might be as little as 35 to 50 feet, but the conditions are such, like the other side, that are incredibly challenging, and you've got to adapt in order to fish that spot. So sometimes overhang comes in the rod. Most of the time it'll be 6 to 36 inches. One of the challenges for you as a caster is to push the envelope. Push the envelope, find what I call the slingshot. Somewhere in that realm of that overhang will be the perfect amount. It can vary based on sink tip length, shorter sink tip, shorter mow, say a 10-footer, probably going to have more overhang. Longer sink tip, like the good old school 15-footer, which are extremely effective fishing sink tips, the 15-footers, Type 3, Type 6, Type 8, you're probably going to have less overhang. So sink tip length, mow length, those play a factor. As you saw, environment plays a factor. Sometimes wading depth plays a factor. The further you are out of the water, like I'm in ankle deep stuff, I'm probably going to play in a greater overhang in this water depth versus that water depth. This will probably be a little shorter because my height to the water has been severely reduced versus ankle deep up here. Bottom line is experiment, try things, okay? Let's kind of play with this idea. So, there's about 2 feet of overhang. You can see where that running line, orange, connects to orange. So let's play that. Let's see how she goes. That worked good. In fact, it wants more rope. This is a Connect Core running line from Rio in .032. Connect Core, very low stretch, about 4%, which is a great setup in conjunction with the Connect Core format of the Skagit heads. It's swinging out there, telephone rings, you answer faster, okay? Now, I'm gonna really push it here. I'm gonna go for about 3 feet of overhang, and let's see how this acts. That worked pretty good. So, could I go further? Yeah, maybe. You certainly can play it out until you pass, you know, what's gonna work. You know, let's try this, let's go. There's about 4 feet. See how that goes. That worked pretty good too. 3 feet is probably pretty practical in the scheme of things. Now again, if I found myself, by whatever reason, deep water right off the bank, waded out into deeper water because I wanted to kind of align my swing into a certain trench or bucket. I found myself in a spot like this in Alaska about 3 weeks ago, where I was wading a lot deeper than I wanted to, but it was all about where I wanted my fly to engage and swing. So out in this water depth, I'll probably go a dramatically shorter overhang. There's about 18 inches or so, right there. Boom. Do a little parry poke. That works real nice. Let's do that one again. A lot of times when you're wading deep like this, shorter overhang, here's the wallback cast, which is a hybrid. There's the poke portion. Higher. Wow, that worked fabulous. Fabulous. So this deeper water, less overhang. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to utilize the wallback cast, which, as a lot of you probably know, is a hybrid between a parry poke and a snap tee. Utilize the snap tee to anchor, parry poke, boom. Very nice setup. The tip of the day, managing overhang, experiment, try different stuff. Recognize that different lengths of overhang will be relevant to room, backcast dynamics, water depth, a number of factors. Don't be afraid to experiment, do experiment. Tip of the day brought to you by the Caddis Fly.